This podcast is sponsored by nobody. Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today I will be welcoming back the legendary, badass queen of martial arts movies, and I am talking about Cynthia Rothrock. The gorgeous, sexy, talented Cynthia Rothrock is coming back on today, and we're going to discuss her brand new memoir book, Rothrock and Roll with the Punches, Surviving Hong Kong Action Cinema, which came out earlier this month. And we're going to talk about the process of writing the book and, what prompted her to write the book. And I'll ask her, what her favorite movies and Desert Island albums are, and do a little mini nerd out there and stuff. I heard her say in a previous interview she's a big I Love Lucy fan, so I'll ask her about that as well. And it's going to be great to have Cynthia back on. I enjoyed talking to her back in 23. I just love her energy, her exuberance, and her zest for life. And she's one tough gal, Do not fuck with Cynthia Rothrock. She is a badass. She is all business, but she's also a complete sweetheart. And I am so looking forward to talking with her again. And we were supposed to do this a couple of weeks ago, and then I guess her travel schedule got too busy. And it was her birthday that week, too, that we were supposed to do it. So I'll ask her how her birthday went as well and stuff. And it's going to be friggin' awesome. March Madness, God, this has been a fantastic, blessed month. I've had some real toe curlers, and I got some even more toe curlers coming up next week to end the last full week of March Madness that a lot of you are going to enjoy. So yeah, here is my new interview with Cynthia Rothrock. So let's start with Rothrock and Roll with the Punches, Surviving Hong Kong Action Cinema. What made you want to write this book?
Well, I want to do my autobiography book,
Yeah.
but that's quite an endeavor. I've been working on that for a while, and I really want that one to be a thick hardcover, a lot of information. So I thought in the meantime, I was going to do, a lot of people always ask me about Hong Kong movies and filming there, and there's so many funny stories and so many motivational and inspirational things I could say about working on Hong Kong films. So I thought, well, this would be an easier book for me to write and get through before I do the big autobiography one. So that's why this one has come out first. And then I've had a lot of response, people loving it. And they go, well, now we want to know about all your American movies. So that'll probably, maybe we'll do a series. So the second one will be, about shooting all the other movies I've done.
Yeah, and like the Hong Kong years of filmmaking, I can imagine that was probably the most important and like profound, impact in your life.
Well, yes, because it's where I first started. Shooting over in Hong Kong is a whole different world than shooting anywhere else. The productions last 5.5 to 8.5 months long. The stunts are extreme, even though you're not really a stunt person. You're an action star. They have you do your own stunts, and each movie they tried to top it. So it was my first experience, doing films. So it prepared me for all the other films because, you go right in at the top and you're working your hardest and you're doing death-defying stunts. It makes all the rest of the other movies easy.
Yeah, I read the Amazon sample. I'm going to buy the whole book soon, but I was reading the sample, and there was something in there that I thought was very sweet. You came home after your first day of martial arts class and you wanted to quit. You were in pain and you thought it was hard, but your mom didn't let you quit. Do you think she had like a mother's knowing that you would be good at martial arts?
Uh, no, I don't think so. I think My mom really didn't know what to expect. She had no idea what martial arts were. She just knew that I was a creative person and I liked to try a lot of different experiences and different, things to do. So I think she was quite surprised that I became so good at it and stuck with it and entered competition. I remember when I won my first trophy, she was so proud of it, displayed
Yeah.
it like in the living room and showed it to everybody. And then after I received thousands of them, they started going, I won 1,000 competitions. They started going up in the attic. And then she had a shed built to put them all in. So,
That's so awesome. Did did
yeah.
bo- did both of your parents live long enough to see your movie success?
Um, yes, yes, definitely. My mom has been to a lot of my screenings. My dad passed away quite young, uh, but my mom has, yeah, she's seen a lot of my films. She's actually been in one or two of them as an extra.
Oh, nice, nice. How long did the book take to write?
Well, I'm kind of busy. I'm always traveling, working, doing a film, doing something here and there. So it was done in sections. So it took a while. I think from the first time I decided to do it to maybe about like 7 months, and then finally I had some free time, and it's like, okay, then let's finish it up right now. So I think if I would have had the perfect time just to focus on that, it probably would have taken me a couple weeks. But I was doing it chapter by chapter, movie by movie at different times.
Yeah. Did you write it all on the computer?
Actually, I wrote it with my partner, Robert Clancy. So yes, it was pretty much done on computer.
Yeah. Did you forget to put anything in there that you later wished that you had?
No, I don't think so. I think everything I wanted to say. I mean, I could have added more, but I wanted it to be a quick, fun read, for people. So something they could read, the whole book through, like, in a day or two or a couple of days if they continued reading it. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to put the pretty, like, it's kind of like how I am. I don't really, like when I was doing the movie Black Creek, I didn't want to have any dead spaces or anything just to make it big. So everything that is in it is pertinent to either telling the story, being funny, or being motivational. So I tried to keep it everything right to the point with no kind of boring spaces in it.
Did you read anybody else's memoir to kind of get like a inspiration?
No, no, not to get inspiration because I knew exactly what I want. And I'm kind of the person, I don't really look, I don't even really see a lot of martial art movies. I kind of just always have been, do what you want to do and what you like and not be influenced by other people's work.
Has the response to the book been overwhelmingly positive?
Oh, yes, definitely. We became one of the best sellers on Amazon for action biographies. And yeah, we sold quite a few. And basically, I'm just advertising it on Facebook.
Nice.
So yeah, we've sold a real lot. I mean, so much that it's taken me a while to get the copies.
Have you recorded like an audiobook
I didn't hear that.
version?
No, no. I mean, I've got a lot of requests for that, and I might do that down the road.
Hmm.
I wouldn't do it, with someone else's voice or AI because I think that's kind of like cheating when you have an audiobook. That it's more, it means a lot more when the author is reading it themselves. So I think, down the road when I get some time to sit down and record that, it will be, but not like in the near future because I'm quite busy for,
Uh
pretty
huh.
much the rest of the year. So maybe something for next year.
Are you like an avid reader? Do you like to read when you have some time to yourself?
I do like to read. I'm a book person. I don't like to read on my phone. I don't like to read on my computer. I'd like to have the physical book and the pages. So
Yeah.
uh, I guess old school in the books. But yeah, I do. I do. I read a lot of like different books. I read a lot of books that are knowledgeable. And there's a lot of autobiographies I do want to read just because I find some people fascinating. But like I said, I don't have a whole lot of time. And usually, if I'm camping or I'm somewhere where I don't have a lot of physical activity to do, that's where I find I can read the most. But I like to read a lot of like diving books and things about scuba diving. Scuba diving magazine, actually.
Interesting, interesting. So I'm curious, what's your favorite movie of all time?
Oh, that's a hard one because I watch a lot of movies. I'm kind of the person like I've watched so many movies, but I don't remember them, and I only
Yeah.
watch them once. I try not to watch them a couple times, right? Unless it's like really good. But wow, that's really a tough one because I don't know. I couldn't really say what my favorite movie is because there's so many of them, so many good ones that I like.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned before that you don't really watch martial arts movies, but do you think that there's been one martial arts movie that got it right, like the best martial arts movie of all time?
I like the Bruce Lee movies, Enter the Dragon, Return of the
Ah,
Dragon. I think those are
hmm.
iconic, and I like those. And I tend to like a lot of the old school Hong Kong movies, like Jackie Chan's Snake and the Eagle's Shadow. And
Oh.
I do watch some action movies, but I'm kind of I get critical when I'm watching other people's movies. I'm watching and I'm going, oh, this or that foot was wrong, or they would have, that's not right. So it kind of ruins it for me. So it's funny because my favorite genre for watching movies is actually horror film.
Oh God, that's so awesome. Yeah, Enter the Dragon is one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. I Nothing has ever come close, I feel. I mean, that movie, that final showdown at the end, oh, it's one of the best showdowns in movie history, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, did you see that movie in the theater when it first came out?
I don't think so. No, I think I was pretty young then, so I think I saw it later on. Probably VHS or something like that. I don't
Yeah.
know. Now, what year did that come out? I
70,
think it came out in like 70. Right?
73, yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw it probably like around 1980.
Yeah, that and Fists of Fury and Game of Death and Return of the Dragon. Yeah, those are all great classics. Actually, Game of Death is like an posthumous movie, and they had to add stuff in, because Bruce was dead by that point, and it's not a legitimate, authentic Bruce movie, but it is what it is.
Right.
So you mentioned horror. Yeah, I'm a huge horror fan. I mean, this podcast started out as a horror only podcast. What are some horror movies you love?
Oh, well, let's see. I always like the iconic Dracula with Frank Langella.
Oh,
That's like one of my favorites that I've watched a few times. I
yeah.
like the first Nightmare on Elm Street. Of course, The Exorcist. I kind of like movies that deal with like things that are real, like the demons or like things like that creep you out and scare you. I think I was scarred after watching The Exorcist because I was so young, possession and stuff like that. So I kind of like those. I like vampire movies, werewolf. I like that. I like them a little bit more than just the slasher type movies, but
Yeah.
I do watch those. But I like a movie that scares you, that you're actually physically scared, and you're thinking, oh yeah, ooh, what that could really happen.
Yeah, both my dad and my stepdad saw The Exorcist in the movie theater when they were teenagers, and there were kids like running out of the theater to go vomit because it was that scary. You know, like you know, certain kids like sneaking into R-rated movies back then. You could get away with that. Yeah. I love all that stuff. I'm a big Jason guy. A lot of people don't like the gratuitous slasher movies, but I love them. I think that they can be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like them when they're done really well. Like I watch Shudder a lot, which is all the horror movies. I think I've seen probably almost everyone on there, and
Hmm.
some of them are really really good. And some you watch for about like 10 minutes. Like I liked it, the movie It, you're right,
Yeah.
and then I went back and watched all those movies that were before it about him. So it was kind of fun going back, and I didn't know that they did so many, on Art the Clown.
Oh yeah, I saw the two It reboots in the theater. I like the first one the best. The second one not so much when they become adults. I don't know. There's something a little off about that one, but yeah, I did like the reboots, and I do
Yeah.
love the original, even though it's a TV movie. I still like it and stuff. Are you into Stephen King?
Yes, yes, I do. Actually, like I like to read Stephen King books, and yeah, I do like the movies. Like one that was really creepy for me was Pet Cemetery.
Oh, that's really creepy. That's really creepy. That's one that I tend to avoid and stuff. I go to like Carrie and the Dead Zone and The Shining and stuff like that.
Right, right.
You know, yeah. I heard you say in a previous interview you're a huge I Love Lucy fan.
Yeah, I like the old movies. I think Lucille Ball was probably one of the most iconic female comedians in history. And
The best.
I either like to laugh or I like to be scared. And I go back and when I watch those episodes, they still, even to this day, make me laugh. And I always find if you can remember a scene, then it was very, it had a large impact on you watching it. There's so many I Love Lucy's that you can remember and just laugh about, even though they're so old.
Yeah. Oh God, they hold up over time. I mean, I just put them on and I'm still busting a gut over them. Do you have some favorite episodes?
Yeah, I like the one. I think she was putting on a fake mask or something. She wanted to disguise herself, and it was getting hot, and her face started melting, and every time she turned around, her nose would change, and like Ricky realized it was her, and his face was like, oh my God, and then she went to lit a cigarette, and her nose caught fire.
Yeah, I guess that one. I love the Candy Factory one, of course. I love the grape stomping one in Italy. I'm half Italian, and my feet are just as big as Lucy's, so I love that one. I also love the one where little Ricky brings home a puppy dog and he wakes her up all night long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I got to meet little Ricky last summer at the Hollywood show. Keith Thibodeau, he is a sweetheart of a guy. He's very religious, so he's got like the even temper of a priest, just very sweet man. And his grandson, who's 6 years old, was assisting him, and he looks exactly like him at that age. It was,
Yeah, I know. I used to love the character of Fred Mertz. I loved his character,
oh yeah,
and I used to have a little skipper key that I named Freddie Mertz.
yeah. I heard he was awful on that set. He was not nice to anybody. Was it William Frawley that his name was? Yeah, he was
Yes,
a
yeah,
he was a curmudgeon just like his character. Yeah.
yeah. And I one of my favorite movies is Miracle on 34th Street, the old
Oh
one that he's
yes.
in, and his character just cracks me up every single time.
I love Miracle on 34th Street. That's my favorite Christmas movie ever. I like it more than It's a Wonderful Life as much as I love It's a Wonderful Life. I love Miracle on 34th Street the most. Natalie Wood, she's like my favorite old Hollywood actress, and seeing her at 9, she is just so adorable. She like set the template of the wisecracking little daughter, because we saw so many of them after her.
Yeah, right.
You know, yeah. But yeah, I Love Lucy is just it still holds up to this day. Remember when Gilda Radner used to parody Lucy on Saturday Night Live?
Yes, yes, yes. She was another very iconic female comedian. Yeah.
Yeah, she did that sketch where she's like in the factory spraying whipped cream on atomic bombs, which was really, really weird. But then, of course, the joke pays off at the end when the bomb
Yeah.
blows up. Yeah, that was bizarre. I also got to interview Lucy's daughter, Lucy Arnaz, last summer. She was my 2400th interview, and she was wonderful.
And
You're
she had some great stories.
Yeah, she does, and she's she's told them a million times. She was kind of annoyed talking about it. We were talking about when she was in the Jazz Singer remake with Neil Diamond the most, and she was happy to talk about that because she rarely gets to talk about that.
Yeah, because probably everybody just wants to know about,
Her
her
parents.
mom and dad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and she actually just re-released her dad's memoir that he wrote back in like the early '80s or something, and she wanted to re-release it because there's been a lot of gossip on the internet, talking about what a drunk and a womanizer he was. So she wanted to like kind of untaint his memory a little bit by re-releasing his memoir.
Oh, yeah. I can understand that.
Yeah. So what are your top three desert island albums?
Well, what would I like to listen to if I was stranded?
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. It would have to be Queen's Greatest Hits. I would like that one.
Uh,
Uh, um, I like what is it? Bruce Springsteen's Western something.
oh, yeah,
I like that album.
yeah,
That but I can't remember what the name of it is, but it's where he switched over to doing kind of country singing a little bit.
right.
That one, and I guess my third one would be the Bee Gees' Greatest Hits.
That's very eclectic and very interesting. That's a good set. Yeah, and that's and that's and that's a very interesting choice for a Bruce Springsteen album. That's a more recent one. I love the old Bruce Springsteen stuff. Not just Born to Run and Born in the USA, but also Darkness on the Edge of Town and The River and Nebraska. Those are great albums.
Well, it's funny. I like his newer stuff better because I think the reason why is I saw the documentary that he did,
Hmm.
and it was basically about making that album and about his life, and I really loved the documentary. I thought it was awesome, and I really, I guess because he told a story of how he wrote each of those songs, in the
Hmm.
documentary, so you understand the songs a little bit better. Plus, yeah, so I really enjoy that album. Sometimes, like when I'm at home and I want to put some music on in the background, they're kind of my go-to, uh, you know, albums.
Yeah, and I haven't seen the documentary yet, but I do know that he's come out about being depressed in recent years, and that's why he had so many songs that didn't make the albums because he just kept saying, this isn't good enough or that's not good enough, and then eventually he released those songs, and they're just as good as the ones that ended up on the albums and became hits. It's interesting how that works.
Well, this documentary isn't the latest one that came out where
Oh,
I
okay.
forget who the actor is that played him, but this one he really did the documentary. So
Oh.
he's interviewing and he's filming a lot in his studio, at his ranch, and yeah, so. Yeah, I saw that one too, and I was quite surprised. I didn't understand. I didn't realize how depressed he was either. Till I saw that other documentary.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. My top three desert island is the Doors' first album, Van Halen's first album, and the Go Go's first album. Those three albums represent three different eras of LA rock in a nutshell. Like when you do the history of the eras of those albums coming out and like what the rock scene in LA was at that time, those three albums I think represent it like beautifully, for psychedelic, hard rock slash heavy metal, and punk rock.
Oh yeah, well, the Doors were one of my favorite groups too, and I love the Morrison Hotel. I remember that one. I remember having
Oh,
that when I was young, and I still like it.
yeah, Roadhouse Blues, Save Our City. That's a great one. Yeah, Peace Frog is on there, and you make me real or whatever that song was called. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a really good album. I like L.A. Woman. I think that was a perfect swan song album for Jim. You know, I don't know why they recorded those two albums without him after that. Unless they really needed the money, because I listened to them on YouTube and I'm like, yeah, this is not good.
Mm.
you know. But yeah, the Doors, they were very specific, very magical in their music, and dark as hell,
Oh yeah.
you know. So when we were going to do this a few weeks ago, it was your birthday week. How did your birthday go this year?
Oh, it's great. I always have a good birthday. I went camping because that's kind of what I wanted to do is get out, in nature and go there for a couple of days. So I did that, and on my and then I celebrated a lot because I do different events, so people would celebrate it, wherever I was. But
Yeah.
on that day, to dinner with my daughter, and on that day I had a quiet day because the next day is when I went out when I went out camping.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad's birthday is a couple days before yours, and the same year too. He turned 69 on March 4th.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, I always remember 1957 birthdays because of my dad and stuff. And like whenever we find out that a celebrity was born in 57, he always wants me to like Google and find out the actual birth date. Like he's always curious to know when the birthday is in 1957. Yeah,
Yeah, well, he was born 4 days before me.
yes, indeed. Do you have any upcoming movies you could talk about?
Yeah, well, right now, my current movie, Black Creek, is streaming on Amazon Prime and also on Tubi. And that was after doing 70 movies, I decided, to do my own. So that was like co-writing it, producing it with my partner, also starring in it, did the casting, we did the wardrobe, we did everything, raised the money on Kickstarter. So it's a fan-based film, and that's very successful. We were like for about like 8 months, like on the top list. I don't know, we still might be, but we this little movie, beat Sinners, which was a $150 million production, and won an Oscar for it. So our little film did quite good. So we are doing the sequel, and we're going to shoot that this October. And I just did a cameo in a sci-fi movie called Inmates, which was kind of fun.
Hmm.
And also I am in talks with Richard Stanley, who I love his movies. I love him as a director, and he wrote a movie that would be in the horror genre where I play the female lead. So
Hmm.
it's called Steel Donkey. So hopefully, Black Creek 2 and that one will get shot this year. Well, Black Creek 2 for sure will.
Do you think it's easier now to make movies than it was when you first started?
Uh, well, I don't think it's easy to make a movie anyway, anytime, but easier in the fact that I know a lot. When I first started, I didn't know too much, and Black Creek gave me a big learning experience, about the other side of the camera, not just being in front of the camera, all the other things that goes with it, and it's tough. It's not easy. It's a very hard endeavor, to do. It took us pretty much probably 2 years of our life from start to finish with Black Creek, so it's
Yeah.
not something you just do and shoot and you know hope it comes
Yeah.
out good. We put a lot of thought and a lot of study, a lot of lot into the process to make this film the best we could for the small budget it was.
Have the stunts got more dangerous in movies, or are they about the same?
Once, it depends. We've had some stunts, and I guess for the average person it'd be pretty dangerous. But I think nothing compares to the stunts that we did in Hong Kong, and the fact that they used the real actors. You see these
Hmm.
big movies now with these big stunts. It's the stuntmen, that are doing them, not so much the actors. So I think for me, the most difficult period, I think, in time was filming like from the 80s to the 90s, doing the Hong Kong movies.
Yeah. So are you going to do like a press tour for the book? Are you going to do like bookstore appearances and sign and stuff?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just more for my fans, out there. I am going to do like a book signing at the Martial Art History Museum, but that's about it. Yeah, I won't do like a typical book tour. Like I said, I'm not going all out advertising it and stuff. It's basically the only way you find it is on, my social media, or if I have like a celebrity appearance, like at a Comic-Con or something like that, then I will bring the books, with me.
Yeah. Are you going to do the Hollywood show?
Probably not this year, but maybe I might next year. I've done it, and I usually don't like to go back to the same event for a couple of years. But I just came back from Michigan is Dead. It's a horror con, and that was a lot of fun. And then this weekend I'm going to be at WonderCon.
Yeah.
Not this weekend, next weekend. Next weekend.
When I went to the Hollywood show last summer, it was a blast, and I met our mutual friend Joycelyn Liu. She was she was assisting Marnine Fields at her table, and I went to go say hi to Marnine. She's been on the show a couple times, like Joycelyn has, and I saw both of them. And I was like, oh my god, it's so great that we're all here together. And I told Joycelyn this joke, and I got it wrong, and she corrected me, and it was pretty funny and stuff.
That is funny.
Yeah, the proper way to say it is that why is tofu why is a Rubik's cube like a man's penis? Keep playing with it; it gets harder. Because I said to her, "What's the difference between it?" And she's like, "No, no. Why are they similar?" Is how the joke
Oh,
goes.
right, right.
Yeah. Oh, here's another joke. What do you call a boy that doesn't masturbate?
I don't know.
A liar. Cynthia, thank you so much for coming back on today. You are just amazing, and I'm so glad you got this book out. And I hope you write the sequel book real soon, and you keep on kicking ass and rocking out.
Thank you. I plan to.
Absolutely. Happy belated birthday, and have a great rest of your day, and be safe out there.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. Bye bye. Well, there you have it. Cynthia Rothrock, ain't she a sweetheart? God, I love talking to her. She's amazing. And who knew she was a horror fan? Had no clue and stuff. Man, people should cast her in some horror stuff, more horror stuff, if she hasn't already done it, because she would kick ass, like maybe kick a ninja ghost's ass or something like that. That would be amazing if she did a lot more horror stuff. That was awesome. Go check out her book, Rothrock and Roll with the Punches. And it's available on Amazon and her website, CynthiaRothrock.com. Well, until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes!